Hello, Internet, and welcome to another video and another update. I usually don't have an agenda when I sit down to film these videos. Most of you that are here frequently or regularly know that. I don't script things out. I don't plan things out. In fact, so often I sit down and I hit the record button with absolutely no idea which way I'm going to go. And that is the case today, maybe even more so the case today, because I have zero agenda other than the fact that I feel like I want to connect with you guys and just sort of, I don't know, share my heart as far as how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. I think the last video has been almost 2 weeks ago, or maybe right around exactly 2 weeks ago. So there's been another cycle of treatment. There has been the whole, 2 weeks is the whole cycle. So there's the treatment, there's the immediate side effects and feeling like crap for a few days, and then side effects that appear a little bit later on. What I've learned, now that I'm in the 4th round of treatment, the 5th cycle of the 4th round, and I already explained that before what that means, but yeah, I'm 3 years and almost 5 months into this now, and this is the 4th round of treatment, chemotherapy, targeted monoclonal antibody therapy. And I was just on the phone an hour ago with a very close friend of mine, and I was just saying, every single time it's different. You think you've figured it out, you think you understand what's going to happen and what to expect, but I am realizing that I don't know what to expect. Typically the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th day after treatment is the worst. And you've heard me before call it the sledgehammer day. Or another way I can describe it is like you're sitting and a cement mixer backs up to you and dumps its, big load of cement, wet cement on you. That's how it feels. It's not pain. It's just lethargy, fatigue, that sense that just moving is going to be difficult. The thought of getting up and moving around seems like climbing a mountain. That's the sledgehammer day. And usually there's at least one of those, maybe 2 every 2-week cycle. And for me, this time it happened on Saturday, this past Saturday. I had a day where, I've described this before, I get up and do my morning routine, but by the time an hour and a half or 2 hours of my morning routine has passed, I'm just exhausted, and all I want to do is like lay down on the couch. And so that's what I did. I laid on one of my favorite couches. I was visiting my parents last weekend, and there's a couch in their living room that I absolutely love. It's one of my cozy spots. And I got a blanket, and I have my laptop, and of course we're in the middle of March Madness. So I sat there and watched basketball games and flipping back to the latest PGA Tour. I've also explained that, ever since my cancer diagnosis 3.5 years ago, I found that live sports are a huge form of therapy for me. It's a great way for me to relax. So I had my laptop and I was on YouTube TV, and I was bopping back and forth between various basketball games and the Valspar PGA tournament down in the Tampa area. And I got up a few times. I have to deal with my stoma, as you guys know, but I had my wonderful parents waiting on me. They're amazing. I've talked about this before. I'm the one that should be waiting on them at this stage of life since they're both in their 80s. But they get so concerned and they want to make sure I'm comfortable, and they're constantly checking on me, and they want to give me my space and leave me alone, but at the same time they want to be there, for me. And I've said many times in these videos, I'm so lucky because I have certain family members and friends who are just wonderful, and I appreciate that so much. It really is a good picture of just family and friendship, people that are there for me. So you know how much I love all of you guys that are in that category. So anyway, the sledgehammer day, the concrete pouring out of the cement mixer day, all of that stuff, I went through that on Saturday. Sunday I felt great, actually. It was really weird. Sunday was a beautiful, wonderful day. Felt awesome. Then Monday I felt bad, kind of, semi-crappy again. But that's how it goes, and I have learned to roll with the punches. And even just the last video that I posted 2 weeks ago was called something to the effect of staying engaged with life even during the bad days. So I feel like maybe the theme of this video is not a lot different, but that's just where I am right now. I mean, we are in the middle of a round of treatment that could go on for 7 or 8 or even 10 cycles if I can tolerate the side effects. Like I said, I'm done with cycle 5, and this time I've got a 3-week break, so I don't have to have the next cycle. Cycle 6 will be on the 8th of April. So I'm kind of glad for that. I get an extra week off. So yeah, that may be all I have to share. We'll keep this one short for a change. And you can see over my shoulder, it's March in Minnesota. We had a foot of snow about a week and a half ago. In fact, some places had 14 inches. But then it was 79 degrees on Saturday. That's what happens in Minnesota this time of year. We can get a blizzard and a foot of snow, and then all of a sudden it can be 75 degrees for 1 or 2 days, just to tempt us about the summer that's to come. So anyway, you can see the snow has melted, and there will probably be more, actually, before the winter season is completely behind us. But anyway, that's all. I'll leave it at that for now. And again, like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate that because it pumps out the video to more people who may want to be connected with this message here. So love to all of you, and more to come. Bye-bye.